What's up, YouTube? This is Politically Incorrect. So, recently on Fox News, the Lieutenant Governor of Texas, Dan Patrick, blamed the rising uh, virus issue in his state on black residents in the state, saying that their hesitancy to take the jab is primarily to blame for the pretty much it's their fault. It's black people's fault in Texas. And that it was on the Democrats, since 90% of black people vote Democratic, it was on the Democrats to get us to take the jab, you know, convince us to take the jab because somehow it's our fault. That's always the status with us. Whenever there's something bad that happens, whenever there's something that befalls the country, whenever there's a tragedy that occurs, whenever there's a loss, they always like to blame us for everything. You know what I'm saying? Remember when Hillary Clinton lost in 2016 against Trump in the election? And one of the things I remember is they blamed the low voter turnout for black people. It was our fault. Even Barack Obama alluded to that in an interview. I think it was an interview that he conducted, or it was conducted with him overseas. It might have been in Italy or France or somewhere. And he pretty much threw black people on the bus, saying, we deserve the leadership that we get. It wasn't because Hillary Clinton is a terrible campaigner with a robotic speaking monotone voice. It's not because she never really gave you a concrete reason to vote for her other than the fact she was a woman. It wasn't because of the fact the campaign was boring. The Democrats and her nominated a terrible VP candidate and Tim Kaine. Uh, had a bad campaign, and Trump just outworked her, out strategized her. None of that. No, it was our fault because we didn't come out in sufficient numbers. But yet in 2008 and 2012, when we came out in historic numbers to help elevate Barack Obama to the presidency, guess who got the credit for that? Latinos, Asian Americans for switching over from Republican and Democrats. Young people, a surge of young voters. We didn't get any credit, but we always get the blame for shit. Well, here is the facts. All right. Yes, a lot of us are hesitant to take the the jab, right? We're very hesitant to take the jab. Well, we have a good reason for it. Historical atrocities, as far as us taking the vaccine, any type of vaccine in the past, and you know, being lied to, even by the government, as to what means, we were being jabbed for. Okay. Other issues. It wasn't just Tuskegee. It was other times when we were used as experimental lapdogs for government testing. Our lives not really worth much spit, you know. And then we look at the data. Just recently, they came out and said, well, you know what? There might be a link between the jab, one particular brand of jab, and this increasing heart condition that we're seeing in young people who are getting injected by. So we have a lot of, you know, uh, evidence for people to be hesitant from a scientific standpoint. The link between the jab and blood clots, the death of prominent black legends who, not too long before they passed, took the jab. Hank Aaron, DMX, apparently, uh, Elgin Baylor, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, and others. So yes, we have we have reason, sufficient reason to be hesitant. But these are the numbers. 18% of black Texans are hesitant to take the vaccine. But 38% of Republican affiliated Texans, primarily white, are hesitant to take the jab. When I look at those Trump rallies, and they were so adamant about not wearing masks and not taking the jab, I don't see a lot of black faces in that crowd. January the 6th, the infamous day of the would have been revolution had it been successful. Did you see a lot of black people in that crowd? There was a couple of them scattered, but 98% of that crowd was you know what color. So don't try to blame this on us, okay? And they don't even give a specific reason why they don't want to take it. It has to do with their personal freedoms. Our freedoms. What? We're in a pandemic, you idiot. You stupid idiot. You won't even wear the mask. Because nobody tell me what to do. Yeah, because you're a white supremacist. And let's throw this out there too. We're in a pandemic. And yet the borders are wide open. And this isn't a Democratic issue. This isn't a Republican issue. This is a safety issue. In the last 2 weeks, 135 undocumented uh, immigrants tested positive for the virus. 18% of immigrants that have been illegals, that have been captured, 18%, nearly 1 out of 5, have tested positive for the virus. So you don't think that has anything to do, anything at all to do with the rising uh, rates? Not a little bit, but it's on us though. No, we're not always going to be thrown on the bus every time. It's everybody. It's everybody. But it's more of a culture thing with Texas right now. Look at the leadership in Texas. It's Republican. They have pretty much followed lock and key with Donald Trump. Trump has been so apathetic toward this entire thing to the point where his own crowds booed him when he did an about face and said, you should take the jab. They booed him. He's their Hitler. He's he's their version of Hitler, and they booed him. But that's what happens when you pull, and profess a big lie for so long. You know what I'm saying? Which is what they do. There is no real pandemic. The election was stolen. There's no collusion with Russia. All lies. Well, live with your lie. This is what happened. Lieutenant Governor's boss just, was positive. So, it's the state, man. It's the whole culture. They're apathetic towards it. The leadership has been apathetic towards it. They've been spinning the numbers, and this is what happens when you have failed leadership like that we see so far in that state. But that's all I got to say. Tell me what you guys think.